Hello, everyone. This is Gabrielle Celeste. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Agua Astrology. I am a astrologer, an intuitive astrologer, a medium, tarot reader, numerologist, Reiki practitioner, and more. I am also the co-host of the Spiritual Sisters podcast with my sister Nicole Christine. Make sure to go check that out. And I am here to talk with you all and discuss what I learned in my first year of business as a spiritual business owner. So let's get into it. It's October 1st at the time of this recording. Happy spooky season, everyone. And I'm probably going to drop this video in a couple of days. But I wanted to, and I've been meaning to for a while, just share what I've learned in my first year of business. So I licensed my business legally in early 2022, and I officially went live with it at the end of July 2022. So it's been a little bit over a year that I have been in my practice. And throughout that time, I have definitely learned quite a bit. And I wanted to share some takeaways from a spiritual perspective, a practical perspective. And I might even make this a two-parter, with the second part being more systems focused. So we'll go over the systems that I use, website, payment processing, etc., and more. Whereas this one's just going to be a little bit more focused on just like what I've personally learned from all different areas, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, and so forth. So yeah, let's get into it. Don't forget to review, comment, subscribe, do all of the things. That would be much appreciated, both on this page and also on the podcast page, wherever you guys stream. Nicole and I would be so grateful, and I hope to continue sharing more of this type of content with you. My intention for this channel is just because I want to have this documented as I move forward and continue to build this business. But a lot of my content is focused on just showing you guys how I'm doing this as I go. And so I want this to look back on in a couple of years and just to see what it grows and it becomes and evolves into. And I hope that you find that helpful. And feel free to share information or thoughts, ideas that you guys would like to see a little bit more of, and to send them my way. So yeah, I'm reading a list here because I wanted it to be as thorough as possible. And I will be sharing that with you. So that's the different eye glances from camera to notes. But the first takeaway I would say is that growing pains are normal and they are also necessary for the next up level. So you're probably wondering, like, what do you mean? Um, from a spiritual perspective, you're going to go through an ego death, for lack of a better term, or word or way to describe it. And that ego death is thereby going to lead you to the next up level. So you're probably wondering, like, what is an ego death? Well, there's this thought process that you are challenged, and that's in those moments and journeys of challenge, that's where you experience the growth. And that's what I mean with respect to this. So, ego deaths, where you're just kind of going inward, you're reflecting on just emotional, maybe stagnancies or what you're experiencing personally. It's necessary to kind of sit with it and to work through it, because that is where the growth is going to be at. So, for example, this summer, I recognized that I was going through a lot of solar plexus upgrades. Solar plexus is the chakra within your system that focuses on self-worth, self-esteem, relationships to others, how you show up. And I realized, I was like, I didn't quite understand why I was going through it or what the point of it was. And I was realizing that, and came to the conclusion that it's necessary to go through those chapters and moments that require internalization and review of internalization, so you can go to the next level. And what does that next level look like? Well, it can be something as simple as like taking on or having the capacity to take on more clients in a month, and thereby you're creating that opportunity to make more money and make more revenue in that respective time frame as well. So you're creating energetic space is the best way that I can describe a growing pain so you can have the outcome that you're aiming for or looking to go to for that next chapter. Um, so the second lesson would be to take care of your physical body. Especially being a spiritual practitioner, I have noticed a direct correlation between how your physical body feels and how you show up to hold space for other people. So for me, I'm actively reading other people's energy. They're asking about timelines. They're asking about areas that include career, money, love, health, family matters. And I'm very much using my physical body to almost like project into that timeline and to look into that person's energy to see what they have coming their way. And it's really important for me as a practitioner to take care of my physical self and my physical body because I need it to work. So, um, holding space for that type of energy, looking into it, reading, kind of forecasting what's coming up for that respective sitter is it, it's it's necessary to do within this kind of there's no way to avoid it, and your body's going to reflect how you're processing that type of energy and that energy in general. So hopefully that makes sense. The next lesson would be to try out new things to see what works within your business. So what does that look like, or what do I mean by that? So for me, I do a lot of one-to-ones, and that is my primary source of income within my business at this time until we restructure and refocus in 2024 and 2025 onwards. And when I say we, I mean me and the spirit of my business, and I'll get into that. So I have tried out in the last couple of months events and working private parties, which basically includes and requires me to um, read for 6 to 10 people at a time in 30-minute increments, back to back over a span of like 4 to 6 hours, say. So it could be seeing if that type of style works for you as the business owner to see if that's a service that you want to move forward within your business. I would also say even just like one-to-one readings, texturing the style of the reading, so how you're going to open it, what's the focus of it going to be. And when I say texturing, I mean also cadence. So for example, first 5 to 10 minutes are going to be focused on opening meditation. Then we're going to get into the questions that they want answers to. Then we're going to get into takeaways, and however much time you have with the sitter, you're thinking about how that hour is going to be spent. So I would say just beta testing within your practice and seeing what does and doesn't work for you and how it's received with the sitter is something that I would highly suggest and encourage. And to do that over the course of your business so that you're not set in one particular way. Um, the fourth lesson and takeaway, however you want to describe them, is to acknowledge that you are not meant to do the same thing. So, kind of tapping into what I just said previously, it's just knowing that your business is always meant to evolve and to grow. And you are going to be asked to look at the patterns that are coming forth to you and being presented to you in the sessions that you're having with your sitters. So just knowing that you are going to be asked to evolve and to grow with your business because the business wants to live through you. And that's why it's chosen you to be that vessel here in the 3D form on planet Earth to carry it out. And there's this idea from a shamanic perspective that if you have this solid business idea and it doesn't, um, you choose not to build it out, it's going to move on to another individual that's going to carry it forth and to build it and birth it in the 3D plane. So that would be lesson and takeaway number 4. Lesson number 5 is to beta test everything. So once you have come across a service or an offering that you're like, okay, this resonates, this works for me, this is what I want to move forward with. Beta test that out on however many people. Maybe give yourself a number like 5 to 10. Test out that service and see how it's working and fine tune it before you charge for that. If you're looking for an energetic exchange, maybe you're doing that with another reader, or you're doing that with another colleague within the industry, seeing if they have a service that you could, do a trade for, ask for a review in turn. That would be something that I greatly suggest. But trying everything out is critical to the success of your offering. And the more that you do it, you're going to become that much more effective and efficient with it, just like with anything else. Number 6 is to invest in yourself monetarily speaking. This is something definitely related to the root chakra. It can show up in other people's energies in different ways, but just knowing that that money that you invest within yourself and within your business is going to come back to you in some capacity down the road, and to not let that hold yourself back. Just knowing as well that it I understand that these times are tough, at least in the year that is 2023, and not everyone has that available to them, and I'm very cognizant of that. But it does require you to businesses, like, you have to spend money to make money, that old saying, and it's very true. But knowing that the best investment that you can make is definitely within yourself. And I remember having a reading in which I was told this to not let that hold me back. And it's true. Like, I've made that money tenfold within my business anytime I've invested within myself. Even when I was hesitant, I mean, I look to your human design. If it's like an instant yes, like a gut knowing yes, if you have that within your makeup. But I've always gotten what I've invested in myself returned to me in different ways, and I don't regret it, and I highly recommend just doing that for yourself and for the energy and the spirit of your business. And also, just touching on this shamanic perspective of it, it's you also have a responsibility to your business if you've chosen to live and build it and let it and birth it out in the 3D plane that is planet Earth. Um, so knowing that if you're letting yourself be taken advantage of, if you're giving too much, if the energy exchange isn't equal, there's kind of the thought process that you could be disrespecting your business by not enforcing those boundaries and thresholds as you maybe should, from a responsible standpoint and business owner. Um, Number 7 would be to start before you feel ready. And the thing is you're probably never going to feel ready, but you're going to fine tune your service and your business as you go. And so, for example, for astrology, it's been around for thousands and thousands of years. So there's not enough, it's not humanly capable for me to know everything that there is to know about astrology, and that can be said for many different types of industries. So knowing that that is the reality of it, not letting that fear or limiting belief hold you back is also very important to keep in mind as you're in the early birthing stages of your business. um Number 8 would be have somewhat of a game plan in place in terms of how you are going to conduct your business. And that could look a couple different ways. Like, you're going to schedule availability on Mondays and Tuesdays, and those are the only days that you offer readings for that week, because there is an energetic level of requirement that your body's prepping for that you may not necessarily be aware of. Because people and the energy of your business is calling to certain people. And so there's other things that are happening in other dimensions before those sitters come to you, and you're holding that energetic space without realizing that you're doing it before they've even booked with you. So hopefully that can make sense. I can explain in another video a little bit more thoroughly what I mean about that. But I also mean just this lesson and takeaway in general with respect to like marketing. So for me, I was just like, oh, okay, like I've announced it. Like, I've started building out this Instagram page, and it got shared before I thought people were going to share it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just being, my business is ready to go. Right. And I didn't have social media content planned out at that time. And it's now been almost like a year and a half later that I'm like, oh, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is the type of content that I'm building out. So, having an idea of what you're going to post and share online to market your business so people can find you, and even what platform you're going to be using, and understanding how that platform works, highly recommend to have some sort of schedule, thought about the content you're going to be posting and how you're going to share it, and just like what is your secret sauce, your signature style, your voice, and how you're going to relay and communicate that to your audience. Strategically thinking about that before is highly recommended, because I did not do that. And I don't think I'm behind in any way. I think I'm right where I'm supposed to be, but that would be one thing I would suggest to have in mind ahead of time. Number 9 is to accept that your business is never complete. It is always and it's never a finished product. It's always a working document or draft, as many teachers and students are familiar with those terms and thought processes as you're building out and creating papers in school. Just knowing that it's like literally never going to be something that's final and complete, and it's a final deliverable that you're never going to look at again. It's something that you're constantly working at. It's something that you're probably going to wake up thinking about and going to bed thinking about it and dreaming about it, depending on just like what your relationship to your business is, and like, I guess, what value of importance you have towards it and on it. I would even argue to say so. It's an ever going thing. And also, number 10 finally would be to just acknowledge that it is a slow game, and it's going to take some time to build out your business. In the first year, I think you're really figuring out like who you are, what the brand is, what you're all about, what you're putting out and birthing into the world. And I'm sure by the time that I do this in year 2, like what I learned in my second year of business, I'll have extended perspectives and takeaways at that point. But just kind of like putting that thought, like almost having like there's a audacity is the word that I want to use, where people kind of just start and they expect that instant gratification, like, in 3 months I'm going to be able to leave my full-time job so that I can do this and do my business full time. It does take some time, and it's almost kind of like you almost have to earn it to see that success come. I'm still working my 9 to 5 at the time of this video, as I build this business out, and I expect to do that for some time. But it's almost like I don't. It's like, unless you start big, like people that are celebrities and they have names and fame to their name, then their businesses are likely to start off with a different size and audience. Just knowing that there is energetic investment that's required before you can do this full time is something that you might even appreciate as you go and build the business out over the course of time. So, yeah, those I would say are just like my quick and fast but hard earned lessons that I've gathered in the first year of business. And I think I'm going to do a part 2 that focuses on the systems, as I've mentioned before a little bit earlier in the video. And yeah, so that's where I'm going to leave it, guys. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far, again, please like, comment, subscribe, review, follow, all the things. And I greatly appreciate it. Until next time.